So, I like to talk about the Casio Pro Trek PRW-35 as someone with a small wrist. Some might say the size of a paper map. You know those old maps you used to roll up in a tube? Yeah, that's about the size of my wrist. Now, I've owned this watch for a while, and I want to share 4 pros and 2 cons and just some general comments on the PRW-35. And just for reference, I have a 6¼ inch or about a 16 centimeter wrist circumference with a wrist table from here to here of just about 2 inches. But first, let's talk about the boring stuff that I mentioned. So from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock right here, I got 40 millimeters. From 9 to 3, including a little extra part in the crown, I got 45 millimeters. From lug to lug, I got 47 millimeters. And in case you're curious, the glass itself, I got 34 millimeters. And the lugs start out at 22.5 and it tapers down to 20 millimeters. But why did I buy this? It is curiosity. Now, after buying the PRG-30, which is a wonderful Pro Trek watch, I wanted to compare that watch to the PRW-35, but there just weren't any real videos on that because they looked so similar, yet they are different. And between the two, they're the smallest Pro Trek watches, at least that I'm aware of. So for someone with a small wrist, you know, I couldn't look at anything I felt like anything bigger. And so it was the PRG-30 or the PRW-35. And price-wise, they're about the same. But again, there was just a lack of videos, and I just didn't see a lot of them. And so I was just like, I gotta just buy it and just try to see for myself. Let's talk about the pros. Pro number 1. Oh yes, it's the size. Now for someone with a small wrist, this is to me the absolute perfect size. Like I said, it's 40 millimeters in circumference. If you're just talking about what the actual like bezel measurement is, I got 40 millimeters, which to me is the absolute maximum that I'm willing to go. I know it can be hard to tell because of the distortion of the camera, but let me just tell you, I am very comfortable with this, and I don't have to ask, is it too big? Because that's the real test for me. I know a lot of people don't like Pro Trek watches because they tend to be humongous, and people don't want to wear something huge. If they're gonna wear a huge watch, they're probably gonna go for something like a G-Shock, which I don't think watches need to be huge, but Pro Treks tend to be on the larger-ish side, and they have a lot of extra features in there. They also tend to be a little bit thick. But the size of this watch to me is amazing. So I think if you're in that 6 to maybe 6¾ 7-inch wrist range, and you're like, I want to get a Pro Trek, but they're all huge, I would say take a look at this. It's a gamble because, you know, it'd be nice to try it on for everyone, but this one, the PRW-35, for me, has fit my wrist, I think, really, really well. All right, now pro number 2 is this display. Now I want to take this in 2 points. The first is, like the PRG-30, I wanted a display that had huge numbers, super easy to read. Now, I know that there is the AE 1500, but I can't fit it. It's gigantic, and it's cheap, but it's just gigantic. So that watch was out. The next best watch I could find was either the PRG-30 or the PRW-35. And so that's really what drew me to this. The huge, easy to read display is absolutely wonderful. I should also mention the STN display on this one. So the PRG-30 does not have that display, it just has a regular display. The STN display is on the PRW-35, and I'm like, what is a STN display? Is it that big of a deal? And I will say that for most of the time, it's not that big a deal. And frankly, if I hold up the 2 watches, I can't really tell. Maybe I'll make a video about comparing the 2, but this is the video on this watch. I will say though that when I turn my wrist, I can tell the difference. Like it's subtle, and I'm not one of those like wrist people where I gotta see it from every single angle. I don't know how good you can see that. I know the light is there, but in terms of like visibility, it's almost like pretty much dead flat. Like you can see it from really, really good angles with the STN display. That's not really an amazing thing. I would say it's more so the size of the display that got me. But for those people that are like really into wanting to see the watch from every single possible angle, because they gotta view it from like this, right? The STN display, from what I've seen, it does make a difference. It is different from the PRG-30, but I don't know if that's enough to persuade people to get it, but I did notice it. Pro number 3 are the features. Now I'll admit, I go hiking maybe once every, I don't know, at this point, like 4 years. But I used to go hiking a lot more, and having a watch that has all the features is nice. I will say it has the ABC, which is really great. And the light on this is really nice. Like, I do like the auto tilt feature, especially for me if I do happen to wear this at night and I'm putting my boys to sleep and I want to know what time it is. I just tilt my wrist up and boom, the screen lights up. Let me actually show you. I don't know if it'll show, but let me turn off the light real fast. Does it do it? No, it doesn't do it. Okay, well, there it is. Whole screen lights up. Now I will say though that sometimes when I'm accidentally turning my wrist, the light will go on and oh no, everyone gonna wake up. But I do like the feature of the lights. This watch, feature packed. If you're outdoorsy and you need all the stuff, then I think that these Pro Treks are really great. And pro number 4 is the strap. My goodness, is this strap comfortable? Especially when you compare it to the PRG-30. I don't know if you can buy aftermarket straps for these watches. Maybe you can, I don't know, I didn't look into it, but my goodness, the quality, I know I don't like taking off watches, but the strap on this is so much more comfortable than the PRG-30. The PRG-30 is like thicker, it's like rubberier. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know. I've never really touched like an orca, but maybe like a dolphin skin. I don't know. That's what I imagine it being, like tough and kind of rubbery. Whereas like this strap right here is really it's soft. It's thin. It feels light. It's flexible. The PRG-31 is not very flexible. So to me, this strap feels really great. Oh, but let's get on to the cons. Con number 1, busy bezel. Oh my goodness, could they make a busier bezel? This bezel is packed, and I get it. It's supposed to be like a compass and has all the things on it, but my goodness, this bezel is super busy. It has so many things on it. I wish they'd simplify it. Yeah, I mean, it's nice, I guess, to have the compass stuff on it. It makes it look very hikey and outdoorsy, but when you're in the compass mode, you don't really like need that because it shows you the direction already. It shows you the direction. So I don't think you need to have the look. Again, I mean, maybe people like that look. I wish they would have just kept it plain. That would have been really nice. But for the most part, I can overlook that. It's just, my goodness, this bezel is busy. And con number 2, availability. These watches are tough to get in the US. You have to get them basically from Japan, which is a shame because this particular one, at least for me, I wanted the blue one. There's a lot of different colors, but I wanted the blue one and you just really can't get it here in the US. They are very slow. Casio is very slow to bring Pro Treks to the US. I don't understand why. I thought US was supposed to be more outdoorsy and adventurous and, you know, all that stuff. And yet the Japanese market has all the nice hiking watches, outdoors watches, and then we just kind of get like the leftovers. I don't understand. I just wish the PRW-35s were more readily available in the US. People could try them on because I really think that, you know, short of a G-Shock, I think these watches are probably good enough for most people. And again, the size is what, to me, sells it. It's a huge display for the numbers. It's comfortable. I mean, it's not huge, like, you know, thickness is not bad, you know, but it's not a G-Shock. And you can read it easy, you know, and if they just had more of these, I think they would sell a lot more. So just to close, this is the best watch I currently own. Now, I know, I'm sure everybody says that after they get a new watch and they think, oh, this is the best one, but I really do mean that. This is probably the best watch that I have because it improves everything about the PRG-30, minus the whole busy bezel thing. But it really does improve everything on it. I mean, it's basically the same dimensions as that watch, but with a better strap, better display, and you really, to me, you can't really go wrong. Yeah, you have all the wonderful features and that makes it very sporty and outdoorsy. But in terms of just a regular around the house watch, I think this watch works. It's definitely pricey, you know, for what you're getting. But the size is what you're buying. At the 40mm size, it fits smaller wrists like mine really well. I almost broke my rule about buying multiple, because I try not to buy multiple ones of the same, like multiple colors of the same watch. But I almost broke that rule with this watch because it's that good. I think they have like a whitish off, kind of a black, an all black one. I was even gonna get an all black one because I thought, oh, that STN display is pretty nice. This watch has pretty much sealed my deal as a Pro Trek fan, and I'm not even like a hiker. I just really like what Casio is doing with the Pro Trek line. I am looking forward to more Pro Treks. I hope that they roll out more to the US, but I really like this line. It's a line that I want to continue to support, even if I don't go hiking, even if I'm not backpacking, all that stuff. I like the watch, I like what they're doing, and especially for this one, visibility wise, my goodness, it is so easy to read. I love it. So thanks for watching.